Okay, so today's video is going to be on how THC and CBD, basically marijuana, interacts with Ozempic. I was shocked to find out by personal experimentation that when you're on Ozempic and you smoke weed or take edibles or whatever, it basically counteracts any of the positive effects that Ozempic has on impulsive behavior. So, whereas before Ozempic was blocking my impulses to overeat, or specifically with me, I've noticed huge benefits of taking Ozempic on my alcohol abuse and addiction. And Ozempic has really stopped that behavior. So I can now drink basically like a normal drinker. I can have one drink and not crave another and another and another. Basically, I feel like I have no impulse control. I have no moderation. I've always been like a 0 to 60 with everything, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, whether it was working out in the past. It was just all or nothing. And for the longest time, I didn't even think marijuana was addictive at all, but I've realized through when I've tried to quit alcohol in the past, I would do like California sober and see if I could still enjoy a little buzz without having any alcohol, still being abstinent from alcohol. It didn't work for me because I am that person. And whenever I had extra gummies or pre-roll or, whatever on hand, I would just take it until it was gone. In the same way with alcohol. I just can't have those like bad influences around because I can't control myself. I know that about myself, but I was thinking because Ozempic has helped me control my cravings for alcohol and has improved my self-control, I guess, with its assistance of the drug, that it would have a similar effect on marijuana use. Turns out it absolutely does not. I went to a dispensary and I got a couple tins of gummies and I got a like 8-pin cartridge. And it was the same thing as before I was on Ozempic. I just wanted to keep taking another gummy, regardless of how high I was. Regardless of what I needed to accomplish the next day, I was prioritizing getting that high instead of doing what I needed to do, functioning like a normal human being. But the interesting part for me is that not only did I still have the cravings to keep doing whatever, weed, THC, marijuana, it basically counteracted all of the positive effects of Ozempic on my drinking and my eating and even like impulsively shopping on Amazon and all of that kind of stuff. It was basically like how I say with the drinking, Ozempic flips a switch for me and makes me a normal drinker. That's how I feel. That is like the best way I can describe it. It's almost like marijuana makes that switch flip back off. And I'm like as if I've never taken Ozempic before. So I had like a little relapse with alcohol. I ate way more than I needed to. And you know that on Ozempic, if you eat too much, it can make you sick. It was to that point. I spent money on DoorDash, and I know that sounds like all of the normal, like when you get stoned, you get lazy, and you get the munchies, and all of that kind of stuff, but it's such like a dichotomy between functioning normally versus having that just like I can't control myself, everything's out the window, I don't care type of mentality. So I think it's really interesting. I know they're just starting to do research on how Ozempic affects your brain and body, with those that struggle with addiction. I think they're probably looking at alcohol first, maybe opioids. So I wasn't able to find any research on marijuana, but I think this is definitely going to be an interesting thing to study. I did a little research on my own, and my only like hypothesis of why it works so differently between the two is that although the liver metabolizes both alcohol and marijuana, it metabolizes them differently. So alcohol is metabolized in basically one phase process, whereas marijuana is still metabolized by the liver, but in a 2-phase process, and it's more complicated. And I would guess that that is why Ozempic has a different effect on alcohol versus marijuana, but it's completely my conjecture at this point. I don't have a medical background. It's just my guess. So if you're watching this and you are on Ozempic and you've tried marijuana, let me know if you experienced the same thing or if it was different or whatever. If you have any feedback, let me know. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Yeah, more to come. I'm definitely staying away from marijuana for now because I want to prioritize my weight and alcohol addiction and treatment for not being addicted anymore. But I'm not going to say that I'm not going to use myself as a guinea pig to kind of document this further, but down the road. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Thanks, guys.